Naturally Beautiful Girl. Today I'm sitting down and doing a video that I've been meaning to do for a long time. This video is not going to be helpful for everyone because I'm going to be talking about the best highlighters that I have found that are flattering on fair light skin tones. And I realize that not everyone has a fair light skin tone, but a lot of you who have started following my channel and following me on Instagram do have a skin tone similar to mine. One thing that I've always found really tricky is finding highlighters that are actually light enough to be flattering on my skin tone. If you are looking straight ahead and you're wearing a highlighter that's too deep for your skin tone, you're going to actually see a shadow. When you turn to the side, you'll still get the reflectiveness of the highlight itself, but when you look straight on it, you'll see like a shadow, and that tells you that your highlighter is too deep. And there have been a lot of highlighters that have beautiful formulas that I've tried out that just do not work for my skin tone. So what I've done today is I've rounded up all of my favorite highlighters, and I have a variety of different undertones. Some of them are more pink, some of them are more gold, some of them are more neutral, some of them are even kind of purpley, different formulas, powder, liquids, cream. So regardless of what you're looking for in a highlighter, if you have a fair light skin tone and you're looking for a clean highlighter, think I can give you some recommendations here. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button so you're notified of when I post new videos. And of course, come follow me on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirlkat there. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're first gonna start off with powdered highlighters, and I have 4 of them here that I like. I will say I typically use cream highlighters. It's probably my preferred formula of a highlighter, but I do like a good powdered highlighter from time to time, especially if I'm going to be pairing it with a powder blush. I think I just use cream highlighters more often because I really like cream blushes and I use a lot of them, but these are some really great powdered highlighters. The first one I want to start off with is the one I have on my cheeks today, and that is this one from Crop Naturals. Crop Naturals is sold at Credo. It's not like a super well-known clean beauty brand, but it is sold at Credo, and the one I have here is in the shade Moondust Monty. This is a pink-based highlighter, so if you don't want a pink-based highlighter, I wouldn't recommend this one. But when I get it on the skin, to be honest, it does pull a smidge cool tone, but it's not that bad. It's more of kind of just like a general icy highlighter. I've got a swatch here on my hand, but as you can see, it's actually, oh, my camera's trying to focus on my face. As you can see, it's actually lighter than my skin tone, so it makes for a beautiful highlighter. The formula is just really nice. It's not like the most buttery highlighter. I wouldn't say it's chalky, but I find that it just gives a really nice reflection. It's not at all glittery or chunky. It just provides a nice amount of reflection. And this is one that lives in my everyday makeup drawer because it's just one of my favorite powdered highlighters. The next one here is from PYT. And this is their upgrade highlighter, and this is in the shade Backstage Pass. I had the one in, it's like Tennis Court. I want to say it's Tennis Court. I'll put the picture of the one I had up here. I do not recommend it. It looks like white in the pan. That one was very glittery and chunky. I didn't like it. I decluttered it. However, I did hear good things about their other highlighter shades, so I picked this one up. And I know you're going to look at this one in the pan and be like, this looks too deep for our skin tones, but it actually does work. I'm going to swatch it for you. This is more of a gold-based highlighter shade, so if you're looking for something more warm and bronzy, this is a great option. I would say if you have like extremely fair skin, that this one might get a little dicey for you. However, I consider myself to have a porcelain skin tone, and as I always say, a lot of foundations don't come in shades that line up for me. So I do think I have pretty fair skin, but I find that this highlighter does work really well. It is more reflective. It's a pretty beaming highlighter, so keep that in mind as well. If you want something a little bit more neutral every day, that one might not be quite it for you, but it is a beautiful formula, and it's definitely more of a gold undertone. The next we have here is the one from Aether Beauty. I always get the name mixed up on this one. I think this is the shade Pure Diamond Dust. But this is what it looks like here. It looks a little bit more pinky in undertone as well. But this one is a really intense highlight. And I know not everyone loves it. Some people find it to be a little bit too kind of like chunky for their taste. I really like it. I think it's really flattering. It's the lowest one swatched here on my hand. I think it's really beautiful, but it's definitely the most blinding out of the 3 we've swatched so far. but I really like it. And the Aether Beauty kind of metallic form, well, all their powder products are like spot on, but their metallic formula is really, really great. So if you're looking for something, this one, I would say, looking at the three together, is the most blinding. It's not quite as frosty and cool toned as Moondust Monty, but it's not as warm toned as Backstage Pass. So it's kind of in between the two, but it definitely pulls a little pink. But I find that that works fine on my skin tone. Okay, the final powder highlight we have here is this one from Honest Beauty. This is the shade Midnight Reflection. There are two shades of the highlighter. I have the lighter shade of the highlighter. This one is not a super blinding highlighter. I'm gonna start off by saying that. It's more of a subtle highlighter, but you know, sometimes I just want a subtle highlighter, and that's when I reach for this one. It's a little bit more peachy in tone. It's the lowest swatch right here, but I still find it to be a very flattering highlighter. It's definitely like the chalkiest of the three in terms of formula. I know that sounds bad, but it's part of what creates that not super blinding highlight. It's the most like natural everyday highlight. So if I want something just really easy breezy, don't need to think twice about it, this is the one I reach for. I normally, if I'm going for like a very natural highlight, will go for a cream highlight. But if I want that really natural, not like a stripe on my cheek highlight, and I want it in a powder form, this is the one I reach for. All four of these highlighter shades are a little bit different in tone. Hopefully that's picking up in camera. But this one is, I would say, a little peachy. It's closest actually in like undertone shade to the Aether Beauty one, but just not as blinding. Removed my swatches there. We're now gonna move on to the next category. I think I'm actually going to do liquid highlighters first, because this is gonna be easier than the cream highlights, because I have a lot of cream highlights. Liquid, I only have two. The first one is this one here from Ilia Beauty. This is their Liquid Light Serum Highlighter, and I have the shade in Atomic. And I was really fortunate. I actually got to swatch all of these in Credo one day. I was there when it wasn't very busy, and I just swatched all of them. And I can tell you, out of all the shades, this is the one I found that was most flattering on my fair skin. It is definitely a bit pinkier in the undertone of it, but I still find it to be a very flattering highlight. Obviously, I got it built up right here. I of course shear it out when I apply it to like my cheekbones or whatever. I still find it to be a very beautiful shade. I don't have a lot of liquid highlighters because I don't like the formula of a lot of them. I find that a lot of them really pick up my foundation and concealer and blush and kind of move it around, and you can like see my skin underneath when I apply them. But this one I find does not do that, and that's one of the reasons why I really like it. The next one I have here is from Josephine Cosmetics. This is the liquid highlighter in the shade Claire. This one I like. I don't think I like the formula quite as much as the Ilia highlighter. However, this one just still does a pretty good job of not moving around my products too much, so I do like it. This is definitely more of a kind of cream, a little bit to the golden side based highlighter. You can see it right here. I think it's really, really beautiful, and I do like wearing this on my cheeks. Sometimes I actually use it on my eyes as a liquid eyeshadow as well. So actually both of these liquid products I can use on my cheekbones and also on my eyes. Also, Josephine Cosmetics is a Black-owned brand, which is super cool. So another great reason to support them as well. But both of these shades are very different. One's very pink, one's very kind of like creamy, leaning a little gold, but both beautiful highlights that do work well and are flattering on my skin tone. Now we're gonna move into the big category, which are the cream highlighters. I'm gonna start off with the easiest one, which is this one right here. This one and also this one, because they're basically the same thing. These two highlighters are the only two highlighters that are universally flattering. You may ask, why is that? Both of these do not have any shimmer in them. They are just like clear creams. This is a Tower 28 No Shade highlighter, and this is the Honest Beauty Magic Beauty Balm. To be honest, you do not need both of these. They're pretty much the same product. They're both kind of clear balms. And I do want to recommend these because if you want a very, very natural highlight, if you want just natural dewy glow, these are the best ways to get it. They are flattering on all skin tones, so you don't have to worry about matching it. So I do want to shout these out. They're not for everybody. I totally get it, but these are both worth mentioning. Yeah, I wouldn't say I prefer one or the other. It's the same. Just pick one, whichever one you want to go with, pick that one and you're good to go. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Cara Weiss highlighters. Technically I have two of them. One is in the Flush and Glow Duo. I'm gonna share that one with you because it does work well on my skin tone. The first one is just the highlighter. This is in the shade Radiance. I've hit pan on this. I really, really love this highlighter. It is a bit more of a cool toned kind of pink undertone highlighter, but I love the Carewise cream formula. It is one of the best cream formulas I've ever used. So there's that going for it. Switch hands, too many highlights on the one hand. It's right up by my knuckles. It's a very nice, subtle cream highlight, and it is pink and undertone, but it's not like overly pink. I find when I put it on the skin, I don't look at the highlight and be like, oh, this is a pink undertone highlight. I just find it's a very nice, flattering highlight, and I really like it, and that's why I've hit pan on it. Like, it's just a really pretty shade. And the other one I have, which also works really well, this is a Flush and Glow Duo in the shade Vibrant Ray. It has this nice kind of more corally blush, and then it has this nice highlighter over here, and this does in fact work really well for me, so I did want to shout it out. Both the blush and the highlighter are both really nice shades. This highlighter is a bit more golden in undertone, and unfortunately, I don't think they sell the highlighter separately, so I think you have to get it as the duo. But like I said, the blush formula is spot on, so it's worth picking up. But yeah, it's a little bit more of a golden shade. I've got swatch right down below. It's not super golden, it's just kind of like got a hint of gold to it, but it's really nice. For another kind of similar tone highlighter, I have this one right here. This is the Root Pretty Paint, and this is in the shade Karna. I recently picked this up. I talk about it in my February favorites video. I'll link that video up above. But let me go ahead and swatch it. I've got swatched right below the Vibrant Ray highlighter. It is really nice. It is a champagne-y color. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. It's not icy, it's not too pink, it's not too gold. It's very much just like a nice champagne color. Out of all the Root Pretty Paint highlighters, this is the one that I have found to be most flattering on my skin tone. Like I said, very fair skin, pretty neutral and undertone, all things considered, and I find that this one works really well. This formula is one of the stiffer highlighter formulas, but if you don't like highlighters that feel too creamy on your cheeks, this is a great one to check out because it's just like a little bit, it's weird saying like a matte cream highlighter, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. It's a little stiffer and dries down a bit more. The next one I have here is a beautiful highlighter, but this one is definitely very purple in undertone. This is the Ritual de Fille highlighter in the shade Ghostlight. I don't reach for this that much because honestly, it's a little purple. Like it's very much like an editorial highlighter. I think it's absolutely stunning, but you have to be in the mood for this kind of highlighter. It's not, for me, an everyday highlighter. I feel like I would feel kind of funny rolling up on a Zoom call for work with this highlighter on. This is, it's beautiful. Hopefully you can see it's the lowest one swatched on here. I'm gonna try and move my hand around to catch the light, but it's definitely got a purple cast to it. It looks white in some, it looks kind of more silvery in some ways, but it definitely has like a purpley cast to it. It is beautiful. I really have enjoyed a lot of the Ritual de Fille cream products. I don't talk about them that much on my channel, but I've really enjoyed their highlighter and also their blush formula. But you just have to know with this one that it is definitely purple. My last two cream highlighters are actually in stick form. The first one here is the Jason Wu highlighter. This is the Opal Stick, and I think they just have one shade of this. So this is what I have. And I wanted to do this one next because honestly, it's very similar to Ghostlight. It's definitely a very kind of purple, reflect leaning highlighter. It works really well on fair skin because it is so light. It doesn't show a shadow on the cheek or anything like that. I have the same thoughts about it as I do with Ghostlight, which is that it is really purple and just not an everyday shade for me. This is a very interesting cream product. I think it has, I don't remember the ingredients off the top of my head. I think it has some silicones in it. At least from the way it feels like it does because it's not a super creamy highlighter. It definitely kind of slips on and then it's pretty much stays in place. It's not, doesn't feel sticky or creamy at all, which is something to keep in mind. And then the final one is this one from Merit Beauty. This is the shade Kava of their highlighting balm. This was the lightest shade that they had, so of course I picked this one up. And this is very much a champagne shade. This is on the border for me, honestly, of what I can get away with my fair skin. Pretty much anything deeper than this is going to show a shadow on my cheeks. So this is like skirting right on that line of what works for me and what doesn't. So I would say if you have light skin, this is probably like perfect. Depending on how fair your skin is, this may or may not work for you, and also just depending on your preference for a product. But I find it to be a really beautiful shade. I really have enjoyed most of the Merit products, and this is another great one. And I think it's a beautiful highlight. Whew, I'm a little tired after all that because that was a lot of highlighters. But hopefully this is helpful. I just wanted to share with you like some of my favorite ones. You've heard me talk about all of these at various points on my channel because these are highlights that I reached for and I use on a regular basis. Well, some more than others. Maybe the purpley ones, not as much. But these are all highlighters that I find just are really flattering on my skin tone. There have been so many highlighters throughout the years that I've tried and are no longer in my collection because they just were not right for my skin tone. So yeah, that's something that brands need to think about when they're launching highlighters. Unless you're doing something that has absolutely no shimmer to it, that's perfectly clear. That's the only way you're gonna have a universal highlighter. Otherwise, you need to launch a number of highlighter shades, some that are great for lighter skin tones, but also keep in mind that you're going to need different shades that are going to work well on deeper skin tones. So you really need to have a wide launch of products. If you enjoyed this, be sure to give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel. Come follow me on Instagram. And once again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.